Welcome back to the Revelation series here on Barefoot Bible. This is our 27th video in this series, and we're starting a study of chapter 6, verses 5 through 8. Please submit your questions about Revelation below the video on your screen and in the comments section. Verse 5. And when he'd opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat upon him had a pair of balances in his hand. This is the third horseman in the vision. He enters on a black horse. In the Bible, black is typically symbolic of famine, and you can see that in Jeremiah 4 and Lamentations chapter 4. The writer also carries a pair of balances symbolizing shortages of food caused by the famine. In John's day, balances or scales were used in the agora, the outdoor market, to measure out grain. Food shortages will be expected during the early years of the tribulation, and the heavenly voice proclaims this truth in verse 6. I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. See that thou hurt not the oil and the wine." Illustrating the impact of the food shortages, the voice of the Lord announces price gouging on staple food products. James Freeman, in his great book, Manners and Customs of the Bible, explains the meaning. The Koenigs measure was an Attic dry measure. It was nearly equivalent to a quart English. The measurement was the usual daily allowance of food for a soldier or slave. Now, the penny was equal to an entire day's wage. Imagine spending one day's pay for just enough bread to feed one person for a day. We should keep in mind that famine is common in many parts of our world, even today. The Lord commands also that the oil and wine be protected. McGee, in his Through the Bible study on Revelation, wrote, "The oil and wine are luxuries that are enjoyed by the rich." Oil would correspond to our toiletries, beauty aids, and the body conditioners we use even today. That is the luxuries of life. The wine corresponds to a liquor that will be in abundance. The Antichrist will come to power with false promises of peace and economic prosperity, but in short time, the new reality will become worldwide war, food shortages, and famine. So the third horseman represents the worldwide famine, which is part of the tribulation. Verse 7 and 8, when he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, "Come and see." Verse 8, I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him, and power was given unto them, that is death and hell, over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword and with hunger and with death and with the beasts of the earth. So the fourth horseman rides a pale horse. The original Greek word translated pale describes the transparency of a rotting corpse. The color befits his name, which is death, and his partner hell will follow him. So John receives a staggering prophecy that the fourth part of the world's population will die due to war, hunger, sickness, and attacks from wild animals. So to understand the number of deaths, consider our world population back in 2020. It was 7.67 billion. The death of 25% of the population would amount to a staggering 1.91 billion people. And that's more than the population of the US and China combined. But Jesus said in Matthew 24:8, this is only the beginning of sorrows. The fourth horseman represents the death of billions during the tribulation days. The Barefoot Bible thanks all those who have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please click like and subscribe today and join us. Our next video will continue Revelation chapter 6, beginning in verse 9, when Jesus breaks open the fifth seal and John sees a vision of the martyrs joined together and asking the Lord, "How long?" Thanks for tuning in today. We hope you'll join us again next Thursday.